Well, we're in this brave new world where artificial intelligence is going to continue to shape the world around us. Migration is no exception. Governments worldwide are adopting AI-driven technologies to manage migration as more people are displaced by war, economic instability, and climate crisis. However, concerns are growing about the lack of regulation, and it's lending itself, I should say, to ethical questions about how AI is used at the border. Our next guest addresses those concerns in her latest book, These Walls Have Eyes, The Walls Have Eyes, Surviving Migration in the Age of Artificial Intelligence. Petra Molnar is a lawyer and anthropologist specializing in migration and human rights and joins us now. Petra, thank you so much for joining us. Give us a lay of the land, if you would, right now, with these migration issues, what AI is really being used for as a layer of deploying migration policies.
Thanks so much for having me. So AI and new technologies are being used at virtually every point of a person's migration journey. That includes technologies that are used for social media scraping before you even leave your country. There's all sorts of AI tools that are making their way to the border for surveillance purposes, drones, cameras, and even really outlandish projects like robo-dogs, which have been introduced at the US-Mexico border. And then other things too, like biometric data registration, and even visa triaging algorithms and AI lie detectors that have made their way into border and border management. So it really is this panopticon, so to speak, of technologies that impact a person's journey as they're moving across border to border.
And to your point, this is already being deployed, but perhaps not with the checks and balances that the citizens would like to see.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's a host of human rights concerns that are at play here, from discrimination and equality rights being impacted when relying on biased algorithms that are sometimes also inscrutable and difficult to understand. There's privacy right considerations with really sensitive personal data being shared and stored inadequately. And even in the sharpest instances, loss of life and life, liberty, and security of the person being impacted if a person is prevented from being able to claim refugee status, for example, or if they are in detention. But what we're seeing again and again from across different jurisdictions is that there really is not a lot of law or governance at all to help us put some guardrails around the development of this technology.
And this is kind of with the technology that is available today, never mind what it could become over the next couple of years with the advent of generative artificial intelligence.
Yeah, precisely. And borders and migration spaces are a great laboratory for this. They kind of function as spaces where new tools are being tested out, oftentimes without public scrutiny or even us knowing about it. And with the advent of new tools seemingly every day, we really need to pay attention to what this is doing on the ground and to real people.
And is it all forms of migration? Is it also related to travelers? Help us understand the distinction.
Absolutely. I mean, so there is the kind of technologies that are at play in spaces of humanitarian emergency, like refugee camps and borders. But we're also seeing other tools being deployed at airports, like Toronto Pearson Airport, facial recognition technology, and other types of tools that we've been tracking as well. So really, if you're moving or on the move, you're likely to come upon all sorts of technologies too. And it doesn't just stay at the border either. So for example, those robot dogs I mentioned that the Department of Homeland Security in the US announced at the US-Mexico border a few years ago. Just last year, the city of New York proudly unveiled that they want to use robo-dogs on the streets of New York. One was even painted white with black spots on it, like a Dalmatian. So it normalizes the use of this technology away from the border into other spaces of public life.